Hey, what's up guys? Brian here, coach of the Boston Brelooms, and today I'm going to be walking you through my team builder for SBL Season 7, Week 1. This week I was playing against Hans, who was in my division, and his team is Lopani Mega, Rotom Wash, Circuitry, Ditto, Cobalion, Durant, Araquanid, Mudsdale, Venomoth, Garbodor, and Drampa. And one thing you might notice is that he doesn't really have a lot of psychic resist except for this Durant here. And Durant doesn't really take moves that well because it has, as you see, 48 Spadef. It'll drop to a lot of things. He has Sticky Webs and Araquanid, but I have a lot of things that threaten it, so I'm not too concerned about this. And he also has a Defogger and Rotom Wash, and does Venomoth get it? Yeah, and Venomoth, but Venomoth is pretty, it's not that fast, it's easy to deny those Sticky Webs. And so what I really want to do is, if I get up some hazards, I want to prevent this Rotom Wash from getting it. And I really want to pressure this Rotom Wash in general. Something I'm worried about is the Lopunny, as well as the Circuitry, which are very threatening to my team, as well as, to some extent, the Cobalion. So, going over to my team, the first thing I brought was this Mesprit. It has, I went for a modest nature so that I can do as much damage as possible. Obviously the Psychic, as we talked about, threatens a lot of the Pokemon he brings. I also brought HP Fire for the Durant and Energy Ball to get a little bit of extra damage on that Rotom if it's in range. I opted for a Trick Room set because he has a lot, if we go back over, he has a lot of speed in a lot of his Pokemon, like this Lopunny, Circuitry, Rotom, they all outspeed the Mesprit. Like all of these outspeed Mesprit, and he also could have the webs up, which means still outsped, right? And so everything is faster than my Mesprit, so I'm not going to get a lot of value out of it unless I have like a way to speed myself up. So I opted to go for this Trick Room strategy. I also considered Z-Trick, which buffs speed by 2 tiers, but I decided that this was the best way to go because of the other Pokemon I decided to bring this match. So the next thing I brought was a defensive Tapu Bulu. I brought it for Lopunny because I saw this as a little bit of a threat to me. And I'm running a defensive nature so that I can eat it, recover back with some grassy terrain, some leftovers, and keep on fighting. It also handles Mudsdale very well. It can take on the Araquanid, and it can absorb a few hits from Rotom, well definitely a lot of hits from Rotom, a few hits from Circuitry, and just generally walls a lot of his team, so it's very helpful. Cobalion threatens it a lot, the Poison type Garbodor threatens it a lot, and something like a special attacker like Drampa would threaten it too. But it is generally useful to handle a lot of these threats. Gets like 2 or 4 or 5 hit KO'd by the Lopunny's return because it has so much recovery from these two. So I opted, my moveset was also pretty interesting. I opted for 0 speed, so if I got under Trick Room I could threaten a lot of his team. I had Hornleech and Woodhammer. Woodhammer was so that I could really like just throw off something and chunks anything on his team pretty much. Superpowers for that Cobalion that I really didn't want to come in versus Tapu Bulu, is very threatening against this team. And Swords Dance because I didn't really see a need for any of my other moves, and having an SD up, it allows me to really have a lot more pressure. If I get up against Lopunny, then something has to take a Hornleech, and they're all going to take 50% at least to that, even Venomoth, despite 4 times resisting it, which is really nice to have. I have 80 attack and 176 HP, so that I can have a little bit more attack, and I'm still only going to get 5 hit KO'd by Lopunny with this health range, so I just want to keep that. Next up, I brought Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is very threatening against a lot of his team. So as you can see, if Lopunny has a little bit of chip on it, then it will die a Sludge Wave. Rotom Wash can only take like maybe 2 Sludge Waves. Circuitry dies. Ditto would be Nidoqueen also dies. Cobalion dies. Durant dies. Araquanid can take a couple, but it doesn't take it very well. Mudsdale might go down to maybe Sludge Wave Ice Beam. Venomoth doesn't take it, Carrower doesn't take it, and Drampa might die to Ice Beam. I think it does. I'm not actually 100% sure. But I do threaten a lot of his team, and to have a lot more of that pressure, I need a little bit of chip on Rotom Wash and a little bit of chip on Lopunny Mega. So in order to get that chip down, I wanted some hazard setters. So I went with a lead Frostlass, Focus Sash, Protect, Thunder Wave, Taunt. I opted to go for, I actually don't know why I did this. I don't know why I have special attack. But I opted for an attackless set, so I could have the Protect. This is for maybe a lead matchup against, whatchamacallit, Lopunny. If it tries to fake me out to break my Sash, I can Protect, throw off a 2-wave the next turn, and see what happens, and then I can get up a Spike. So that really gives me an advantage and will really pressure his team if he gets that Lopunny weekend, because it's very threatening to a lot of the Pokemon on my team, and it allows the Brelooms to take a little bit more damage in the game. So then I brought Taunt, because I'm trying to get these Spikes to have that chip damage, and I don't want Rotom to come in and defog it, because Frostlass can't do anything else to it, so I just want to deny that defog. And you're going to keep that theme in mind as I go into our next Pokemon, Kommo-o. So Kommo-o recently got Stealth Rock in its move pool, so I wanted a rocker, and I decided to opt for Kommo-o over Heatran, because I found that, you know, with some ground types, some fighting types, and, you know, Rotom Wash, Lopunny Mega, I'm not going to do too much with my Heatran outside of, you know, get rocks. So I really wanted to have Kommo-o on this team, because it's able to take, with the spread I'm running, with max HP, it's able to take a few hits from the Lopunny. It's able to basically take on Rotom Wash, actually, because it has those leftovers. It has, why does it keep going? It has leftovers, it has Taunt, so it doesn't get burned, and I can just Dragon Claw over and over. Rotom Wash won't really do a lot of damage, and having that Taunt, as I talked about earlier, I'm able to deny that defog, and keep my Stealth Rock up, keep my Spikes up, and keep that pressure up on this team. I opted for HP over attack, because I really would like these rocks up, because that chip on Rotom especially is really, really nice, and just having consistent damage against everything that comes. Venomoth, Araquanid, they don't come in too well versus rocks, so having extra chip is really good. So next up, our last Pokemon is Comfey. I brought it because I wanted an extra, I wanted an extra Trick Room setter. So I opted for a set of Trick Room, U-Turn, Draining Kiss, and Taunt. I ran a little bit of special attack so that it could have a little bit more threat onto the Pokemon that it's gonna be trying to take on. Things like Cobalion, a little bit of extra chip would be helpful. Rotom Wash, it can 1v1 with this Draining Kiss with 60 special attack. I ran 196 speed to outspeed. What am I outspeeding? One sec. Oh yeah, I was outspeeding Rotom Wash if it opted to try and outspeed my Heatran. So, you know, something like 279 without outspeeding my Heatran, he might bump it up a couple, 281, 282. So I decided to opt for 285, just to, you know, guarantee I'm above that. Why does it keep going to the wrong team? To just make sure I'm above that Rotom Wash benchmark, and so I can keep taunting it. So I have Taunt as well, and I have U-Turn, so if I can set up my Trick Room, I can U-Turn out to Nidoqueen or Tapu Bulu, who both have minus speed. So basically the whole goal of this team is Trick Room and pressure with Mesprit and Nidoqueen. During the patch, these are going to be the most two important Pokemon to protect for me. Comfey is nice to have for the Trick Room, but it's not as important if I still have Mesprit. Comfey is just kind of like, if I lose my Mesprit, trading with something, then I can get up my trick room and still do stuff with these two Pokemon. These two Pokemon I'm not going to prioritize too much. I really want to prioritize their rocks over their health bars. So I'm going to have a replay review going up soon, and you'll kind of see how I play with that when I get that up. And so this is my team for SBL Season 7, Week 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.